Hey everybody, Dr. Dan here, and this is the first of a series of videos that I call Ready for Anything Course Design, and this is an appropriate time to be thinking about this because first of all, since we've moved to an all online format because of the pandemic, there's been no shortage of articles and publications out there on how to teach online. Everyone is an online teaching expert all of a sudden. They're coming out of the woodwork, and that's all well and good. I know we've all learned a lot from looking at the resources that are out there. But at the same time, we're busy. We need to be able to put these things into practice and make sure we're delivering a quality class to our students. And sometimes taking the practical part from an article and actually making it work for you isn't always applicable in your own world. And I know the way I do things is different than what I read. So I want to share with you an approach that I take for getting organized when I'm putting together an online course, but it really helps me get organized regardless of the modality. Now, the other thing you may have heard about is something called HyFlex course design. That's a new buzzword out there. And all it means is that your courses should be flexible to be taught regardless of the modality. So if you have a face-to-face class and suddenly you're told, hey, we have to go to online, or you have a face-to-face class that is suddenly turning into a hybrid class and you're doing online and face-to-face, this idea, this method, this sort of framework I'm going to share with you will be very helpful. So the scenarios you find yourself in for the fall semester are perhaps you've been teaching online forever and you have an online class for fall and you don't need to change much. That's all well and good. You can look at this video and some of these ideas. They may help you. But if you've been teaching a face-to-face class, or you've inherited somebody else's class, or perhaps you're designing a new class from scratch, this will help you a lot. And also, if you have a junky old class that needs to be refreshed and you're too busy to face going through and organizing it because there's so many files and so many documents, this will help you for that also. So hopefully I kind of went through every scenario you could possibly be in, and at the same time not get too off track. So the first thing I like to do, this is a great time to get back to basics. That's one of the things no one's been talking about in any of these new online articles, is getting back to basics. And I don't care what the modality of a class is, whether it's online, face-to-face, hybrid, whatever. It has to have a very well organized syllabus to get started. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the syllabus because I'm assuming everyone has this done. It's one of the basics things. But now that we're moving to online, there's another way you might want to look at this syllabus, if not for your students, for yourself, as you get organized and stay on track. And again, I'm just showing you the way I do things. It might not work for you. But what I do is I make sure that my course schedule on my syllabus has everything I need to know in it. And again, this is personal. You don't have to do it this way. But especially when I'm taking a class and I'm trying to clean it out. I'm trying to take an old course shell that I've kept copying for years and years and years and years that's gotten bloated. I like to make sure that this course schedule also serves as sort of an inventory of the learning objects I need in my online class. So by that I mean, if you look at something like under Module 2, in this 1 credit hour class schedule, you see that the students have to read the Affordable Care Act law summary, and I have a little notation of the file name next to it. I know that's just a little thing, but trust me, that will really help you out when you're reorganizing or cleaning out your online class, to use this schedule as an inventory. So if your students are watching a PowerPoint in Module 2, for example, make sure that's on the schedule and put the file name next to it so you know what file it is, because at some point in time, we're going to go into our old Canvas course and we're going to clean out all of those old files and start over again, and we're going to use this course schedule as our guiding document to organize everything. So again, keep that in mind. If you also look down through this course schedule, you see on Module 3 that there's a discussion post, and I have a notation ILG 2.2 behind it. That means this is an activity in the class that I am assessing for institutional learning goal 2 at level 2. Again, it's just a personal thing I use to keep me organized, and that sort of puts assessment top of mind for me, and I know exactly where the rubric needs to be, and then I've satisfied my responsibility of institutional assessment. So again, totally optional, just the way I do things. Again, and students see this schedule, so they might ask me, "Hey, what's ILG 2.2?" And I will just tell them, "Well, don't worry about it. It's just a notation for the college." Again, the way you lay it out is going to be different than me, but I like to have it done this way. So for this first exercise, this first video, I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to ask you to get your course schedule, make sure that's organized, and then we're going to move on and show you how we can easily take this course schedule and move it over into Canvas and get everything aligned just perfectly.